I haven't seen you since the play.
Yahoo! Oh yes, I saw Ambulance. over the weekend. I was gonna originally double feature it. I was gonna have an earlier screening of Sonic 2 and then watch Ambulance as sort of like a chaser, as like a palate cleanser. Then my podcast recording about Sonic 2 got bumped, and I was like, well, I'm not getting up early to go see Sonic 2 now. But I did decide to go see Ambulance still. Anyway, I missed my boy Michael Bay so much. I had missed Ambulance fucking rules so
it rules so
hard.
much.
It's like it's Point Break meets Speed, like it's, and I don't know, inject some and meets Four Brothers, you know, just like inject like all of these classic sort of like taut thriller. I mean, it's not as good as Point Break or Speed, but it is very good in its own right, and it's extraordinarily Michael Bay. And like every time there's bananas drone shot where like the drone flies up a building and then down a building to like land on this guy, and you're like, yes, Michael, this is why we needed you back. Yes, my king, thank you.
We missed you so much.
Thank you for this. God, and it has like Michael Bay's traditional like mystifying unidentifiable politics. You can't figure out
if he really likes the cops or he thinks fuck you cops,
because like
you really can't tell.
He has like a couple cool cops in the movie, but he also has no problem just like killing 100 cops over the course of the movie as like a fun action beat, just like cop cars just like exploding and flying off of bridges and cliffs. He has no issue with that. Fucking like what happens to Garrett Dillahunt is just like, oh well, you know, it's just like
it's just fucking oops. That's two movies in a row. That's 2 movies in a row where he died largely by being dumb and standing in a place.
Standing in the wrong place. What movie are you thinking of?
Army of the Dead.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're absolutely
He's the piece of shit that walks outside and forgets the fucking tiger.
I forget there's a 45-minute scene where he gets mauled by that zombie tiger. I'm glad you brought up Mr. Zack Snyder, because as I was watching Ambulance.
I didn't, but go on.
Well, you brought up Army of the Dead. But, like, I'm glad you brought it up, because when I was watching Ambulance, I was like, Michael Bay is Zack Snyder. If Zack Snyder, like, knew he didn't have anything to say. Do you know what I mean? It's Zack Snyder without the pretension of having a theme.
Oh, but you fail to remember that Zack Snyder absolutely has the thing, at least in the superhero fiction, of really, really, really wanting heroes to be gods. Mm-hmm. And not just gods, but specifically Jesus God.
Yeah.
And that, like, Superman has to be God.
Yes.
And Superman is God. And people think of Superman as the savior. And then he treats Superman as Deus Ex Machina, which is probably the most appropriate use of that.
Sure, it's not like, conceptually, it's not a bad take on Superman, but Michael Bay does not have any of those higher ideations. Do you know what I mean? Like and he knows he doesn't, and he does not attempt.
Oh, sorry, you were saying Michael Bay doesn't have. Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No.
Snyder did.
What I'm saying is,
hold on.
What I'm saying is, Zach always tries to put that in there. And it generally is ineffective. It generally fails. Whereas Michael knows that he doesn't want to do that. The closest he ever got was Pearl Harbor. And I think he made Pearl Harbor, which is like one of his least successful movies as a movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
But he shoots the shit out of the actual like Pearl Harbor bombing sequence. It's like completely thrill. I mean, it's tonally completely wrong, because it's like a kick-ass action scene made out of like a horrible a horrible thing that happened, but he's Michael, he can't help himself. But like, that's the one movie where he tried to make like a movie, and it like did not work, and he never went back. He's like, all right, Bad Boys 2. Next, Bad Boys 2. One of the most nihilistic, one of the, like, if you know, if there are movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once that, like, reaffirm your idea of humanity and just, like, make you want to, like, reach out and express yourself and get as close to people as possible, Bad Boys 2 is the opposite of that. Bad Boys 2 is so scummy. It's so, you never want to talk to another person after you watch Bad Boys 2. You're like, everything is scum, everything sucks, this is the best movie of all time.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Fucking, I found out recently that, like, for Ambulance, he hired a 19-year-old drone pilot.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one person's influence on something
so profound.
So fucking much. Like, they used so many drone shots. Underneath jumping cars, inside hotel lobbies.
Yep. Sweeping across parking lots during action sequences, zipping through every corner of a bank, you know, just like, everything.
So much.
And it, like, it kind of creates, like, an interesting little, like, thing.
It's a whole
part
mood,
of the movie.
It's a whole mood.
They lean into it as, like, an aesthetic of the movie. From the very beginning, like, where it's just, like, sweeping shots of, like, Los Angeles at sunset or whatever. Because lest we all forget, the L.A. in Ambulance is capitalized.
Yes, yes. That did in fact make it into my review.
Ambulance? Yeah. You're like, okay, that's a cheeky marketing thing, and then you watch the movie and you're like, he highlights the LA in the middle of Ambulance. You're like, oh, okay, he did that too. That was his idea. That was his thing. This is Michael Bay.
He was obvious about it. Damn.
This is Michael Bay trying to make a movie about, like, this is Los Angeles.
Yes.
And if this is Michael Bay having lived in Los Angeles for however many decades now, you know, when was the Got Milk commercial that he did pre Bad Boys? I don't recall, but, like, the beginning of the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
When he's doing, like, Victoria's Secret commercials and music videos, and, like, oh, this is what he thinks of Los Angeles. It's a depraved, scummy hive. Yeah.
Hellscape. Yeah.
Torn apart by, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal fucking coked out of his gourd. Just absolutely fucking... I'm not saying Jake Gyllenhaal was imbibing of cocaine.
No.
But the only way his character makes any sense is if he is doing bumps every time we cut away from him.
Yeah. Was his name Will? No, Will was
Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who's excellent.
Danny Sharp.
That's a goddamn movie star, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Every time you see that guy, you're like, fuck, man, he's really good. He commands the screen. He's so powerful.
Yeah, he's so powerful.
Yeah,
it's a very good movie. It's the tastiest garbage. I told people, like, they were like, how would you describe it? And the best way I could describe it was this summer's first blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first summer blockbuster style action movie of the year. Mm-hmm. And, like, it rules. It rules. Yep. The credits for that movie are so fucking short, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because there's no special effects.
Right.
There's obviously some. There's very few, though.
There's always some, but, like, no,
practical.
he just blew up cars. That's the
when your core conceit is essentially, what if we filmed a bottle episode in an ambulance?
Right.
Turns out you save a fuck ton of money on building sets. You just stick a guy holding a camera in an ambulance and have him walk around it for the first 6 weeks of filming. And then you spend the next 8 weeks of filming just destroying cars for fun.
Just destroying cars on the highways of Los Angeles. Yeah. It's the best car chase shit I've seen in a long time. Fast and Furious not included, of course. But sure. Like, you know, in other non, like, car centric action movies. I have not seen car chases this good in forever. And like, as much as we make fun of like, oh, Michael Bay, I can't tell what's going on in the action, I think these are clear. I think it is concise. It is always perfectly understandable. Like, the stakes of every individual moment, sometimes too much, but like,
oh, and the times that it's confusing is on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, the only moments where I was like, the fuck is going on, is when their literal job was to try and confuse them into driving the direction they wanted to. And so, like, when that would clear up, you'd go, all right, we're right back to it. We give a feeder on the pavement. Let's go.
I understand.
The two things that struck me, I guess three. First was that, like, this ambulance is souped up, obviously.
Of course.
Two, damn, they got gas right before this happened. And three, I'm sorry, this is not super spoilers. Something very bad happens to the police officer while they're in the ambulance, and the solution is medically questionable. But what's crazy is, after that solution, you just don't think about him for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's the film is put together in such a way that, like, when, because there are whole, like, sections of the movie really where, like, Camille or Yahya Abdul-Mateen, like, they'll fade into the background for a little bit, even though they're all in, like, one ambulance, and it feels like it's been like 20 minutes since we've touched in with the nurse in the back of the ambulance, but, like, you're not really consciously aware of that because of the way that it's a very well constructed action movie. It feels straight like 90s action movie. Like, this is the best action movie of 1998. you know?
It feels great. I love it. It feels great.
Goes down so smooth. I would be shocked if we got a better, like, out and out action movie this year. Bullet Train could be possible.
Bullet Train's...
Yeah. Everything Everywhere has excellent action sequences, but is not really an action movie. Like, most of that movie is not fighting. Like, you think it's gonna be like a kung fu movie, and it really isn't. It's all movies. It's every kind of movie. All condensed into
everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah, and, like, I know we got some of them MCUs, but those movies are like, they're not construction action movies in the same way. There are sequences. But it's not as pure driven as ambulances. So yeah, I guess Bullet Train, fingers crossed. Avatar 2, I guess.
If that ever gets announced.
I mean, no, it's coming out this year. They say this year, December of this year. Avatar 2.
All right. I'm excited. I'm confused, but I'm excited.
Rock on, here we go. Every 2 years for the next 8 years are getting more avatars. And apparently they all have Michelle Yeoh in them. Avatar. Bury me in tar me up, tar and feather me. And apparently, again, all of them have Michelle Yeoh in it, so Michelle is having her big moment now. Michelle is finally taking off in English language cinema. Obviously, she's been around forever.
Disney opened those doors, dog.
I guess so, yeah.
Not that she needed doors to be open for her, but, like, she did Shang-Chi, and then it was like, what if you were in all the cool projects that everybody wanted to watch? And it's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Although all of those would have had to be filmed before Shang-Chi came out, so my guess is Crazy Rich Asians. I think Crazy Rich Asians did it. That was the big one. That was I feel like. And Simu Liu was in that movie as well. And the Harry Shum Jr., who I'm starting to see again, was in there, and fucking the actor who plays the daughter in Everything Everywhere was in Crazy Rich Asians. I feel like Awkwafina was in that too. I think I didn't see the movie. I'm guessing here, but yeah, she was in there too, and that was a huge catapult. I feel like that. I mean, that movie was a big hit. But it's almost we're now seeing, like, the real fallout from that. Obviously, there was a pandemic that has happened since then that has slowed things down a little bit.
Luckily, I'm glad that they kept their momentum despite events slowing everything down. But yeah, no, it's we're starting to see more and more, like, it did seem like in 2018, like, there was this kind of, like, bubble burst of, like, oh shit, like, movies that are less frequently at the top of the list, or the first thing out of people's mouths, are now up there, and they're diverse and they're unique and they're doing weird things.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2020 and 2021 happened, and it was like, did we lose that? Did
Yeah.
COVID kill that?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2022 so far has seemed to be like, no, it just took a while. Some things lose momentum, but these things, because I guess there's so much money tied to them, don't. But that doesn't make any sense either, because development hell is a thing in Hollywood. But like, these good things are coming out, and that's good. It's exciting.
Some stuff just like got in the way. It just took a little bit, and it always takes a little while, regardless. But yeah, some of this stuff just takes a little while. Ambulance, had an I will say an okay opening weekend. It opened in 4th place, which is not excellent for
who did not have a second weekend?
Dr. Michael Morbius.
It's like a 75%. What people would describe a precipitous drop.
As I predicted, there is audio evidence on this podcast. I said the second weekend would not hold. I did not realize to this extent, but I am too powerful. I've become too powerful.
I mean,
74% drop.
From 80 million to like 11 or something like that.
It was like, essentially. Dropped to, still made more money last weekend than Ambulance though, but I'm hoping Ambulance has that good word of mouth. I hope people catch on to it and go out and see it, like The Lost City has had, which has really held on and like been like a sizable hit, which is great because I would love more like adventure rom-coms and shit. Channing Tatum.
It's but also like it's what you were saying about Ambulance being like our first like, oh shit, 90s action. We're here for the explosions and cars, action movie. Like The Lost City is an action ass rom-com. Like it's the
best mummy movie we've gotten in
25
in
years.
20 years.
Yeah, like 100%. 100%. Sorry, Uncharted, you tried. But
you tried, but Uncharted's making tons of money on its own right, so it's not struggling. But
it's not struggling.
It's not. It was not the Mummy, and The Lost City really feels like it's going after that Mummy. Sonic, of course, fucking killing at the box office. No one is surprised. Huge opening.
Yeah.
And but let me, a little film called Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was in a very small amount of theaters previously and has expanded wider, but still like only in about a third as many theaters as everything else that's out right now. Like it's at like 1,200 theaters as opposed to 4,200, which is what Sonic is in. But its per screen average is unbelievable. It's phenomenal. It's like the per screen average of Everything Everywhere is at least twice the amount of everybody else. The screenings are full for this movie. It's still not in that many theaters because A24 is fucking weird sometimes.
Sure.
I don't understand those guys sometimes. I know we all, we love them or whatever, but like, and they're saving independent cinema or whatever, but like, sometimes I just don't get it.
It's a little weird. It's like, hey, why don't you shell out? Because like obviously this movie's got the beans.
Yeah, I guess they're planning it. They're doing honestly a very old-fashioned rollout for this movie, which never happens anymore. Which is like we start small, we expand, we let word of mouth carry, and hopefully like the money sustains, and we can put it in more and more screens as it goes. Which is a very like that used to be the norm. Now it's like Sonic opens across 4,200 screens.
Well, also you've also got the competition of like when most other things within 45 or 65 days are throwing them on a streaming service. And so like, do you do a long extended rollout? Do people care to have that much attention, or are they going to just like bank on the fact that they'll be able to grab it, in a few days on the streaming service that they want? A24 always struck me as too small to like push for a wide release for anything.
And it has had exceptions like Hereditary and stuff like that. Did they do Get Out? They might have done. They might have
Might have.
expanded on Get Out. I can't recall. It's
I'm
been too
trying to
many
remember
years.
who. I'm trying to remember who
Who
was
like
the
who put up the
production
money for
company
that
for
one?
The Northman.
That's I believe that's A24. I'm fairly certain that that's an
Like Eggers
A24 joint.
works in A24. Oh,
Yeah, that was
it's Focus.
the
It's
Vivitch
Focus.
was a huge early hit for A24.
The Vivitch.
The Vivitch.
This is
Um,
Focus Features.
wow. Oh, Dog was actually a sizable hit too. Year of Channing. It's Channing's year.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
living in it.
Trust me.
Sorry, I haven't been on Box Office Mojo in a little bit, so I'm seeing like some up. Like Batman is in the top 5 still, and that movie is obviously making money hand over fist. But
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is making more than twice per theater. Like what Batman is making. It's just it's in 2,000 less theaters than
Nice.
Batman. So here's hoping. I hope everyone goes to see it. I've seen it twice. I'm trying, I'm trying to drum up people to go see this movie as much as possible. Every time I talk to people about it, they're like, "Oh, yeah, that looks interesting. That looks weird. I want to see that." And I'm trying to
Yeah.
actually encourage them to go do it. Spreading the good word of Everything
Yeah.
Everywhere All at Once. And now
Got it.
also of Ambulance, which rules. Go see Ambulance.
And as soon as I'm allowed to publish my review, also The Northman, which fucking ruled.
Can't
And is also
wait.
one of the most historically accurate Viking fictions I've ever seen.
Love that.
It's ugh.
I'm so
So good.
Northman hyped, dog. I'm gonna fucking get those blue tattoos. I'm in on Northman. Here we go. Rock on.
It's so good.
Rock
It's
on,
so
baby.
good.
Tide me over till God of War 2. Let me watch some Viking shit.
Yeah.
But until I can
Yeah.
play that game, whenever that game's coming out. And this is, of course, Advanced Media Studies, a podcast where we aim to talk about every piece of pop culture ever created, 1 week at a time. You are joining us now as we resume our Mythic PodQuest, as we sojourn through Apple TV Plus's Mythic Quest.
Apple.
I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan, and I eat crab puffs even though they make me fat.
I am the daddy host, the host with the mostest kids. And you know what, Kev? I'm gonna go out to the desert. I think you got this. You're not gonna figure it out tonight, but
Oh my God.
I'll be back. I'll be back in a month.
In a month? Gotta hold down the fort for a month. Jace is in rehearsal. You're going to the desert. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Well, rock and roll all night and part
All night.
of every day. And let's talk about that our Mythic Quest. Rob McElhaney facial hair update. Seen some pictures of him lately. He still doesn't have iron facial hair, so
No.
we appear to still not be filming Mythic Quest season 3 or 4.
Although, we and I haven't talked about it yet, but who knows what he's gonna look like in season 3?
That's true.
Because
That's true.
a lot's changed. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
But who
I
knows?
like
Yeah, I don't know.
how Ian is visually distinct from Mac in many ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that,
Yeah.
if you're an actor who's basically only known for that one part, it's good to visually make yourself distinct. Just so it helps the audience kind of rewrite you in their mind a little bit. Just that little extra level of separation. Let's just do the damn thing. Let's just talk
Let's
about
do it. Let's do
season
it.
2. We're in season 2, episode 1.
Season 2.
Titan's Rift, directed by Pete Chapman, written by Megan Gans and David Hortonsby and Rob McElhaney. In this episode, we join Ian and Poppy as co-heads of Mythic Quest as they try to develop a new expansion, and as Caleb Rift, Ian fucks off to the desert for a little bit, leaving everyone else but Poppy and David most prominently kind of spinning their kind of spiraling. They really can't figure out what to do in his absence. Also, Dana and Rachel finally sort of consummate on their will they won't they at the beginning of season 2. Good call, I think, kind of pushing this forward so we don't keep spinning out in the little zone.
Yeah.
And Joe works for Brad now, which makes perfect sense. That's the perfect escalation
Yes, is the
of that
absolute.
character.
She, like a predator, has moved on to. Their dynamic is very like Sith Lord and Apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible. I think there's even a moment where Brad's like, "You'll have to eventually defeat me," and you're like, "Yeah, that checks out." Um, Joe's great, just chaotic energy, and every time she walks past David, and there's that like whole uncomfortable emotional exchange between them. I love it's the best.
It's good. Joe remains my personal favorite. Joe remains my MVP of the show, because she could just kill me more than everyone else. And obviously, very funny cast. But I love Joe, and I hope we only continue to see big things from her in the future. This is an interesting episode, and obviously, there's all the Is this the sex dream one, or is that the next one?
That's the next one.
It's the next one. No.
No,
might be this one.
It's the first one.
Is the first one?
Sorry, I think
yes,
it's this
because
one.
the next one.
I watched these like 2 weeks ago, forgetting we were supposed to watch.
Whoops.
The thing actually, and my brain.
Whoops.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
this one.
Yeah, that's this one because the next one is like the women in gaming. That's not in this one. It's an interesting interpretation of the dynamic here. Is that, like, again, as we discussed before, it'd be very easy for this show to be like, Ian is bad and everyone else is great, but like this codependency that they've kind of developed, that like everyone, they all hate Ian, but they all also are like
rely on him,
really reliant on him. Exactly. Like they really do.
He leaves and they're like, well, what do we do? And for a moment you're like, oh, he's gone, they'll be able to work. And it's like, oh no, actually not.
No, they actually fucking spiral when he's not there. Like they really, and maybe that's because Ian has sort of built himself as the central pillar. But regardless, they really just like spin out of control while he's not there and accomplish little to nothing. Is this the one with the art team? With the guy from Drunk History? Yeah. I love that bit. Every fucking...
It's great.
It really... Obviously, every visual artist has lived through that, but really, if you're any kind of technical or support staff on large projects, this rings very true. This rings very true as a guy who's, like, having to operate cameras for people's visions and, like, try to understand is like, okay... You understand what this entails, right? Like, we might not be able to, like, do with your perfect vision and things like that. You understand how much work
we might
this
not
is going
be able
to be
to
for
do
me.
that thing.
Yes. And it's...
Also, I also love that, like, he's vague as shit and, like, gets art and it's just, like, perfect. But the team fully knows that he's going to change it later. And then Poppy tries to do the same thing and this shit, they're just like, what?
Yeah. And it's like so easy
great.
for it to be Ian's process of like, well, I have to see a fully built thing and then we can change it. It's like it's so much more difficult to change it at later stages. And like, I don't know, as someone that's written, freelance ad copy, as someone that has done, various different like creative projects working for other people, that's the most frustrating thing in the entire world. Is like someone I'm like, we should address these issues now, please. Like I can't
now. Can we not wait until I've done this for 12 hours before you go? All right, now let's see if we can fix it.
It's so much harder to change it later. It really is. it's you're ridiculous. And and when you do commissions and things like that, there are a certain number of edits that are allowed, like it's a certain number of like, oh, change this. But every person artists out there, if you're not setting up how many edits you'll allow before you start making the project, you should start doing that. Please do that because otherwise you'll be edited. It's like, okay, you get one large edit and two small edits, or like whatever it is.
Have a limit.
Yes.
And when they approach it, do not bend.
And get them to be as specific as possible at the beginning. And I understand firsthand how impossible that can be
How
sometimes, as people love to speak in these
insurmountable that can be.
vagaries, you know. But it really is important, and I'm glad this is very relatable. This is relatable comedy.
Yes, this is. I mean, if you're anyway creative and have done anything ever with a team, you'll get this pretty immediately. You'll be like, oh
Sure.
yeah, no, I remember this one time because it was awful.
And I'm
That's just
sure
how
if
it
you've
goes.
like worked construction building a house, that you've dealt with stuff like this before. You know, like
Yeah,
it can
yeah,
extend to all kinds of different um things. If you're a
yeah,
chef, I'm sure you've dealt with things like
yeah,
this before.
yeah,
People
yeah.
who didn't say they didn't want pickles or what have you. It's ridiculous. I like how much we are. This episode is using our full supporting cast, right? Like David
Yeah,
goes to
it's
meet with
everybody else.
Sue, just for like let's touch in with Sue, like just as like a confidant. Here is Sue. She's hanging out, and God, I can never. Is it Donna? I can never remember the name of HR.
Carol,
Carol, thank you.
Carol.
Carol. She's great. I mean, she continues to. It's kind of like the one joke over and over again, but it's a good joke, and she delivers
Yeah,
it well. How frustrating she is with like everyone who's misrepresenting her office and coming to her at odd hours, and when she does have these exact same types of services offered, no one goes to them during the structured time. It has to be on their own time. Ay, ay,
yeah.
ay.
It was
Honestly, a lot of relatable shit in this episode.
so much, so
For how
much.
frustrating your job can be.
I love the rolling realization that everybody in the office has had the sex with Ian dream.
Yeah.
And that like Poppy's freaking out about it, and then the David first, who's like, "Oh, did you have the sex with Ian dream?" She's like, "What? No." And then like it keeps going through different people who are like, "Oh yeah, it really just depends on like what it seems like the goal is," and
Yeah.
she keeps like realizing like, "Oh no, how do I stop this?" And then of course the finale, the end, where Ian has a dream where he has sex with himself, which is a very good joke.
It's a very good joke. And
I love
he's
it.
totally chill with it. He loves that.
No, he's good. I think it's great.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
great, good job, me.
Good job, me.
I am good at having sex with myself. Excellent work by the whole team.
It's the best.
No, it's good. It's well structured. There's good jokes. This is sort of like, you know, there are these really high sort of like dramatic highs awaiting us later in season 2. Like there's really well structured and well built like story stuff that's going to come to a head. These
Yeah,
first
there's some
two
really
are kind
great
of like
stuff this season.
we're playing around. You know, we're just kind of getting everybody back together and like let's do a regular episode of Mythic Quest because the last ones we did were a crazy Zoom episode and a wild genre episode. Let's do a normal couple episodes before we get wild again.
Yeah, 100%. Is this one the goat? No, that's the second one.
Grouchy
That's
Goat
the
is the
second.
next one.
That's the name of the second one. Good job,
Yeah.
Caleb.
Good job. You nailed it. It's the app they're building, which is, of course, Season 2, Episode 2, Grouchy Goat. Again, directed by Pete Chapman. Again, written by Megan Gans and David Hornsby and Rob McElhaney. In this episode, Brad assigns Rachel and Dana the task of building a mobile app that they start developing as Grouchy Goat. And come to blows of creative differences as the different approaches they could make to the game, and it seems to stir something in Dana as far as game development is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm sorry. The design team is this episode, as according to the Wikipedia plot description. Oh well. Ian has Poppy speak at a Women in Gaming conference, and it all comes to a head. Yeah. So how do we want to? The Rachel and Dana thing is interesting. That's certainly the biggest meat of this episode.
Yeah, it feels a little cheap initially. So okay, I like the illustration of the like coders moving into QA testers moving into coders, moving into game designers process because they are game developers.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of people that start in QA end up moving upwards. That is definitely a path that people suggest you go down.
And
So that's
it's a
cool.
good idea as far as making a television show is concerned. It's like we kind of have these two characters that in the first season are extraneous outliers in a lot of cases. Like they're kind of
Yeah.
off in their own little world. They're not enmeshed with the main show. This season obviously made it a goal of we are going to integrate these two into the every episode happening. So, they
Yeah.
are going to they're going to get out of the tester booth and and intermingle with the rest of the cast more,
Yeah.
which I think is good.
Get them more involved. Let them have more speaking parts. Let them. Yeah. It's one of those times where like you build a show in a workplace and then realize workplaces allow for like cast interchangeability that like friendships don't, right? Like Friends doesn't really have any like power dynamics that it can change.
Not in the same
But
way, right?
but The Office, Parks and Rec, this like I'll give you that like specific like they have different titles and those change over time.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that part. I like that part a lot. What I dislike is like it seems like there's always a this is a personal beef which may have clouded my judgment. Whatever. It always seems like when you're watching something where a relationship is taking place on a TV show specifically, movies do it too, but TV shows are the worst. Where like an issue comes up, like a thing that like causes friction, and myself on the outside watching is always like, why?
Come on. Oh,
Like,
it's
why?
the worst when you're watching, a super formulaic movie and like, oh, it's time for the conflict because we are 60
We have to
minutes
have a
into a
conflict.
90-minute movie. It's time
Yeah.
for the worst trope in the world, the liar revealed, where it's like,
It's
oh,
the
the person
worst.
who's been lying the whole movie and the other person feels offended that they've been lied to. Seen it, done it. It is not compelling. It is so boring. Stop doing it.
Yeah,
Stop.
dude.
Stop. Make it stop. I don't
Yeah,
want to
dude.
see this. Please
And
no.
so like when Dana gets the opportunity and she's gonna do it, and you see Rachel kind of like, oh, I'm like, why are you upset? Like, fuck off. Why are you mad? Why are you worried about that's weird. But I think that like over the rest of the season, the show does a very good job of like quickly moving away from that, which is fine. Just in this first episode, that immediate like, is this going to cause conflict? It feels a little unearned to me. I'm like, no, why?
I agree. And the relationship is one episode old. Like it.
Right.
It happened.
It immediately introduces something. Yeah.
I'm not even used to this relationship, and you're already like throwing a wrench in the works.
Trying to do some shit.
Yeah. And it's like and like this is again where it's like, hey, longer seasons would really like you have to introduce the relationship in episode 1 and then try to wreck it in episode 2 because you have 9 episodes. Like you just need to either plot points you desire to hit and you just have to like boogie through them in an inorganic way, I feel, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like I said, it does do away with it pretty quickly after that. I think also in a way that feels pretty self-aware. Like when they do end up like moving past it, it is kind of like the show's like people aren't like that, right? Which is also funny. Yeah, but oh no, I was gonna go somewhere else with that. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, like to go in more depth, but I do like this plot. I think that like showing this happening in the studio is cool. I think that the way it develops both of the characters that are primarily involved with it's cool. It doesn't really become, it's also outside of the episode. It doesn't really become anything.
No, this is not a lingering darkness that will eventually consume the relationship, right? Like it's not these creative differences, these differences of personality are not going to end up consuming these two characters, right? It really is kind of a thing we draw. It helps get Dana's plotline for the season, and and her plotline going forward started, where it's like, oh, she's actually interested in game development, in coding, and that is something that she wants to do. Can we talk about Rachel? You and me?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh no.
It's not that I don't enjoy this character, and I don't by any means think Ashley Birch is bad. Tiny Tina herself, I don't think she's bad on the show. She's funny, and
Sure.
and and her, but she is, of the characters of Mythic Quest, the one I think they like still haven't figured out as a character to tell stories about.
Sure.
They settle on her bit this season, which is she's annoying and everyone is annoyed by her, which is a choice.
It's a weird choice after introducing the new QA guy who's a piece of shit,
Right.
who is annoyed by her, to then make her actually annoying, thereby validating his shittiness.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Speaking of Megan Gans, Community's Megan Gans, it feels like a half-baked version of what kind of happens with Britta, You're the Worst, right?
Sure.
It feels like exactly the same idea. It is this socially conscious character, but nobody wants to hear it, so they dismiss her and they call her annoying, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't let this character have as high comedic moments as they give Britta on the television show Community. So it almost feels like those times when you're watching like a show for Republican dads and they have like the liberal character who's like obviously just there to be demeaned and laughed at. Not that the inverse doesn't happen, because it happens all the time, is like, let's bring in a Republican character and laugh at all his opinions, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the inverse. But this is literally like that show The Great Indoors with Joel McHale and Stephen Fry working at like an outdoorsman magazine, and it's like they have to deal with their 6 liberal interns who don't go outside, who are always on their smartphones.
What?
I'm so glad you were spared of this show, Caleb, because it's just I never use this internet terminology, but it's pretty cringe. I'm sorry, your television show is cringe. The Great Indoors. A very short-lived, in a world where like Last Man Standing with Tim Allen can get like 6 seasons, 7 seasons. This show was like 8 episodes. It just did not have an engine that did not say go.
Homie, it was 22 episodes, actually.
Okay, so 1 season, I guess. It got one season.
Full season.
But like,
they stunt cast Stephen Fry. I see.
They stunt cast, of course.
He's only in half of the episodes.
Okay. I feel you, Great Indoors. But like, okay, if you're making a show to appeal to Republican dads, I don't think Republican dads like Joel McHale and Stephen Fry. Like, those are weird,
wicked, not Republican people.
Those
largely.
Are weird people to cast on that show.
Yeah,
you have options for old men you could cast on this show. That's so strange.
It's very strange.
Joel McHale. Republican dads don't like Joel McHale. Republicans dads don't watch The Soup. What are you talking about? What do you mean, Joel McHale?
What was your thought process here? I'm curious.
How much bargaining did Joel McHale's agent do so that everyone could get that check? It's very strange.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know how I didn't know this show existed.
Because why would you? I mean, truly.
Come out?
Not long after Community, my dog. Not long after Community left the air.
2016, 17.
That was the next year.
I was an adult man.
Mm-hmm.
An adult man with with subscriptions. And I never once heard of this.
I don't know.
I will hunt it down and watch it now.
What? No. Caleb, you have think of all the great things you've never seen.
You're right.
And you're gonna watch The Great Indoors from the CBS
It does say great
sitcom?
in the title.
No, that doesn't mean shit.
Oh, okay. All right.
That doesn't mean shit. Where is this even streaming? Is this on like Paramount Plus?
Like,
where would you even watch?
Where do you watch CBS stuff? Peacock?
CBS is generally Paramount Plus, which is why I'm there right now.
There you
go. So we're gonna find out if you can watch The Great Indoors on Paramount Plus when you're out of Halo. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Not on there. I think it's been scrubbed. I think you just like literally could not watch this show if you
Just
fucking
deleted.
wanted to. They just CBS just cleaned out their hard drive, reformatted the hard drive. Oh, you can watch Wrath of Man on Paramount Plus, which I would
Yes, you
recommend
can. I
everyone
saw that
doing.
recently and was like, oh shit.
That's a
Time to watch this movie again.
that's a good ass movie. That's a
Very,
good
very
ass
good
movie.
movie.
I really enjoyed that. I was like, wow, that was good. You guys seen this? And the answer from everyone is no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Why would you? Again,
Yeah.
we're just referencing things that like, why would you actually
Not
watch
like
this?
why would you?
Wrath of Man looked like a bargain bin
It looked like a Redbox movie.
transporter. It looked like a transporter crank.
Yeah.
Which is a dumb action movie that like you could watch
Jason
on
Statham
TV.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a Jason Statham movie.
Uh-huh.
The only reason I watched it is because in watching one of the trailers, I saw it said it was a Guy Ritchie film, and I was like,
Hello.
hold the phone.
Hello.
What? What's
Hold the
this?
phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it now.
Paramount Plus.
And I liked it.
Don't understand why I still have this service, but like, there's just enough stuff I want to watch on there that like every time I think about canceling it, I'm like, oh, this movie I want to watch is on Paramount Plus.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
this service exists because it has all of Star Trek. I think is why this service is around. It has Annihilation with Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac.
Oh my God,
Great movie. Great movie.
Alex Garland, let's go.
Let's go. That movie's so scary. Annihilation
movie
is
is
so scary to me.
Unbelievably scary.
That
It's one of the
scene
best sci-fi
with-
movies I've ever watched.
That scene with the bear that screams.
It's
The
so
bear
good.
the bear that screams like a woman is
Yeah,
I've never forgotten. Or when they're
it's
like
one of the most alarming things I've ever encountered.
when you're watching like camcorder footage of like Oscar Isaac's guys and that one guy's like intestines are moving around in
Moving?
him like snakes.
Yes,
Fucked up.
yeah.
That was fucked up of them to do. I want to watch that movie right now. I have to
Yeah.
watch both of his movies before Men.
That's
Men.
right. He's making an A24 movie. God, our conversations are giant.
Men.
So they're giant navel gazing circles, and it's
Yeah.
fine.
Because A24 released his first movie, Ex Machina, but
What was A24? You want to know something that's gonna break your heart?
what?
I haven't seen Ex Machina.
Oh, it's really good. You'll like it.
I'm
Whenever
gonna
you get
watch
around
The
to
Great
it.
Indoors instead, though.
God damn it. No. It will take so much less time. It's so much better. You could watch Ex Machina. Instead of watching 4 episodes of The Great Indoors, you could watch all of Ex Machina. Where is it streaming? I'll rent it for you.
It's probably on Paramount. It's A24, right?
No, A24 is not affiliated with Paramount. It's on
Why did I
like
say that?
it's on like Showtime and shit.
I'll just rent it from Amazon for $4.
Yeah, you can rent it for $3. You know, like it's pretty. You're solid. Yeah, I guess if you want the high def, you got to spend $4, $3.99. Worth every penny. Fucking Ex Machina, great movie. Annihilation, maybe even better. We're excited for Men. That trailer got a big
The
laugh
trailer is
at my
fucking-
screening because when the
Really?
fucking title, only because the title comes up, you're like, this is a creepy movie. What's going on here? And then it just says Men. Men.
valid. No, that's valid.
It says it like, and then I leaned over to my friend when it got the laugh, and I was like, "Ugh, Men. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's so,
Ugh,
it's funny.
man.
It's funny that the movie is just called Men. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Alex Garland makes good movies and bad TV shows, and like, it was, it's going to be a good movie, but like, that's silly. That's silly.
Yeah. I remember seeing it and thinking, is this like a dark comedy? No.
No,
I don't, in fact, think it is.
It's spooky scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Rachel, it just, and I don't know what the solution is, but she has always kind of been this squeaky wheel. They have
Yeah.
not figured out her. I mean, if they settle into she is an annoying person who cares about social causes, I guess you can do that. I guess that could be the end. I hope you come up with another thing, though. They later this season they put her in the CW plot, which is a good decision, a decent decision.
Yeah.
That
Boy,
character
my
needs
brain had to
something.
do like 2 or 3 backflips before I realized you didn't mean the
The
network that
network, the
released Green
television
Arrow.
network. Yes, of course. Yeah,
It's in
the
CW plot, and I was like, what?
what? She
Oh,
was on Riverdale? No. The that she ends up in CW's storyline for the season. And CW, who is like usually just kind of an extraneous joke character, he's really just like a guy you give some running bits to. They find a great engine for him later this
yeah, it's
season.
incredible. It's incredible.
It's absolutely fucking like astounding what they give to
His
him.
Doc and Beans episode they give him is phenomenal,
And then
and
the
then the
follow up
follow
is
up
like a
is
fucking
incredible
it's a
too. Yeah,
gut punch. It's ridiculous. It's
rest in
it's
peace, Will Hurt.
yeah, the big hurt. It's just it I can't wait to talk about it. Those are so
Yeah,
good. And we're going to cover them in the same episode and we're going to be so sad. It's going to
it's
it's going to
good.
bum us out so hard. It's going to be great.
Bum us the fuck out.
Yeah, but it just I you know, I again kind of circling back to what we were talking about at the end of season 1, I feel like if they had more time, they could maybe try more stuff with Rachel and find something that sticks like they did with Britta on television's Community.
Yeah,
But they don't have time. There's so many characters that need to be serviced, and it's like it's easy to make an iron plot. Poppy, Brad. It's so easy to generate something for them. And then you just insert Joe, and she'll just make everyone laugh. She'll like come in, she'll cut, she'll kill. It's easy
yeah.
to make a David plot. They have struggled with Rachel, in my personal opinion.
I like that they I've said before, I've already said I like that they're giving Dana a plot,
Love
but like
that.
I think that giving I mm, I almost think that giving Dana a plot that's separate of Rachel was maybe a little bit of a mistake. Like, why don't we just let Rachel stop being a QA person
Uh huh.
and move into the same kind of thing that Dana's moving into? And then, like, the conflict can still exist, but you can have one person not sure they want to be doing what they're doing and the other person really excited about it, as opposed to trying to move one out and, like, leaving the other one in a separate department. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would do for Rachel to give her a specific.
Yeah, because they struggled in season
right.
1 to keep the testers integrated and feel like a real part of the show, and
Yeah.
now they thought of like 4 different things for Dana to do. She was a streamer, and now then there's the relationship plot, and now she's gonna be in game development. Spoilers. Like that all is going to go down. And all Rachel has done on this show is either pine for Dana or be annoying about social causes to people who don't want to hear it. Like they just have not. It's not really our job to like pitch ideas for this show, but
No.
I would borrow from Ashley Birch's real life and like, what if Rachel becomes a voice actor for Mythic Quest? Because we have not gotten into that aspect of the game at all.
Yeah, it would rule.
There's something.
Rule.
That's
you know
just
what
like
you could do?
an
You know what you
idea.
could do to even like make it copacetic is you could let Ian cast her as like an annoying character because he thinks she's annoying,
But then
and
she
then
becomes
it
like a
turns
big
out
hit.
she fucking dominates.
Yeah, she becomes the new like Roscoe, like the Dark Quiet Death, little fuzzy guy character, right? Like she becomes
Sure, yeah.
she
Yeah.
becomes like a new hit, a new minion. She becomes Minions.
She becomes Minions.
They should get the
with
Minions
her.
on this show. And it like that's just an idea. That's just off the top of my head. That's what I would do. Because I'm not gonna. It's not like a pro. I'm not like, ugh, Rachel. I hate Rachel. But
No,
I
I love Rachel. That's the problem.
you're leaving
The
fucking
problem is I love Rachel, and it's like
leaving money on the table. To
Yeah.
borrow from Griffin McElroy, right? Like you're leaving money on the table. It's just kind of a standstill, and they'll have to figure it out. But these season lengths are tough to.
I don't think they would be so tough if they would just make hour-long episodes.
I don't know if I want. I like
But I
that
don't
this
know if I
show
want
has
to. I don't know if I want an hour-long episode.
has tight
So-
30s. I would rather if we're flirting with hour long because Ted Lasso made that change, right? In like the middle of a season. They're like, we make 45-minute episodes now. That's what we do. Like I've never seen anything like it before. Ted Lasso season 1 and the first half of season 2 are completely down the middle 30-minute comedy episodes, and then halfway through season 2 they're like, we're an hour-long dramedy, actually. Deal with it.
Changed.
And which I think, if that's a benefit of streaming, if you find that skid, you can steer into it. They're like, we are naturally moving in this direction. It is now time for us to increase the episode length. I like that.
Yeah, sure.
If that is the organic direction your show is going. I would rather, if we're thinking about that with Mythic Quest, I would rather they just do twice as many episodes instead of increasing them to an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
definitely
10, instead of
Can you imagine if we had 22
longs,
episodes of Mythic Quest in season 3?
I think it would be good for the show. I think it would allow them to, because something that keeps happening with Mythic Quest is they find, they have these really exemplary moments that usually happen in the middle of the season, right? It's like last season, it was Dark Quiet Death into the Masked Man sort of face-off storyline. Right. Is like, that is the high point of that season. Season 2, we're there's the bottle episode that's going to happen, and then we go into the CW 2-parter, and that's, again, just like they find the creative high point in the middle of the season, and then that has to stop because the season's about to end, and we need to, like, tie up our loose ends, right?
Right.
They keep getting into this thing where it takes them a few episodes to get their momentum going, a few episodes to get everything stocked up. They do something really cool, and then it just has to be over because they don't have time. If they had 22 episodes, 20 episodes, 18 episodes, like whatever.
15, fuck it, like
13, like, like
right,
even the shortest season of Community has 13 episodes, and that extra amount of time, those 4 extra episodes, let you play and do stuff and try stuff with different characters. That, like, think about how much Runway Community got done with Frankie and Elroy in season 6. Those characters are introduced that season. They do a bunch of cool shit with them, and they feel like complete. And Rachel still doesn't feel complete.
Yeah, it's annoying. Which
Darn.
is, I think, doubly annoying when you think about the fact that, like, I think we have a better idea of Sue.
Yeah. Yeah. Sue is a more developed character
than Rachel.
Yeah. I feel like we have a better idea of Carol.
We get a couple episodes in season 1 where she's interacted with, but then the big hacker duel they do, like, David is hanging out with Sue like the whole time.
Yeah.
So you get all of that dialogue, all of that interaction between them, and you figure out pretty well by the end of the first season who she is. And, like, we still, like, we're beating a dead horse at this point, but we still only know, like, 2 things about Rachel, and it's she's got the hots for Dana, and that people think she's annoying.
Yeah, and that's
maybe a third one, which is CW has mistaken her for a boy like 4 or 5 times.
And that's more of a CW thing than it is like a Rachel thing. Like, that's just a subset of the annoying thing, And I don't think the character's annoying, but the show identifies her as annoying 100 times in this season. You're right. Like, Sue and Carol are so much better established at this point, and their roles are small compared to Rachel's role, but they feel integrated into the cast in a way that Rachel still doesn't really.
Yeah, very much.
And it's I'm not calling it like a problem, but it is something that, like, it feels like a missed opportunity. There's gotta be something there. Voice acting was my pitch, but you could go in any number of different directions with this that expand on this character. Use Ashley Birch. Ashley Birch was, like, one of the first YouTube video game celebrities. Do you know what I like? Yeah. Hey, like, Ash, what you playing was huge. Hey, Ash, what you playing is in Saints Row 4. They are playable. They are characters you can summon. Is the cast of Hey Ash, what you playing in Saints Row 4? They were huge, and Rachel. And I understand, maybe if Ashley Birch wants to move away from that energy that defined her as a performer. Like, I don't know anything about that. I'm not, basing that on anything. I understand if
Yeah.
you want to like expand yourself, but they're not using any of that. It's like when Adam Sandler does a dramatic role. It's like you still need to use what is fundamentally interesting about Adam Sandler as a performer
Right.
in your
Or
dramatic
you
role.
lose a little bit.
That's what
Uh,
Funny People does really well. That's what Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems, they all do that really well. They still capture what is appealing about Adam Sandler, even if he's not doing the standard Adam Sandler comedic persona
sure.
thing.
Sure.
This is like half of Jim Carrey's dramatic roles, like the number 23, where it's like you're not using anything that's interesting about Jim Carrey. Like, nothing that is appealing about Jim Carrey is in the number 23.
Except for the fact that Jim Carrey's in it.
Right, of course, but like
Which
he's
I
not
bet
doing
people went to go see because they liked Jim Carrey.
right,
And then
but
walked
then they
out
were like,
and felt
what?
like they didn't get to see Jim Carrey.
Exactly. That was kind of like the end, I feel, of Jim Carrey's like reign. You know, like Yes Man is the last like traditional Jim Carrey movie I think we got. I guess there's still time, but I'm not looking forward to an Ace Ventura reboot if such a thing like should choose to exist.
No, I seriously doubt that he would do it. He's like largely become the guy that's like, I was that guy once. And
Yeah.
like, I'm fine not doing that now. Which, like, cool, dude.
Yeah, he just
That's
like
fine.
paints, he made so much money and he just like
Yeah, he's like
paints. And that's-
he's like
that's
60.
fine.
Do
And
what
I would-
adults could want to do and retire. No,
And
I don't
retire.
blame you at all for that.
Or like, or wait for the right call. Do you know what I mean? Wait
Sure,
for the right
sure.
director to be like, I have a great idea of how to use you. Jim Carrey would be smart to do something like that. But they're
Yeah.
not doing Truman Show Jim Carrey with Rachel here. They're not doing Eternal Sunshine Jim Carrey, which are, yes, departures for him, but still have a lot of the fundamental good things about Jim Carrey that we loved. They're not doing that with Ashley Birch. And I think they know, right? I don't think the creators of Mythic Quest are unaware that this is in it. You see them actively trying to solve this season with Dana.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, we really and you feel they definitely had a meeting between seasons. It was like, we need to get the testers out of that room and into the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
And I think they know, and I'm excited for what these good writers are capable of achieving, and I would like to see them go for it. That's all.
Yeah. 100%. I think that it's possible, and I also am not outside of believing the fact that they may still have been building her character for something coming up.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Given the freedom of knowing you have 2 more seasons, I don't know what the episode order was, but I know it was 2 more seasons.
It's probably about the same. I'm guessing.
Being that, yeah, I don't know the episode order. It's probably 2 identically long seasons, but still, yeah, I don't see much reason to introduce more than 1 or 2 new characters over those 2 seasons, because the amount that we have built up now, we got our origin story, right? And like, let's see what we can do from here. I'm really conflicted about this character, and I'm glad that you brought it up because I don't think I would have. I think I just kind of tuck it in the back pocket, like, that's frustrating, but kind of try to move past it, because like, it's not that what she's saying is annoying, right?
No.
And it's that people think that she's annoying, and like, people think that she's annoying enough that you start to get annoyed when that's the only thing that she says. But that's also just a realization that like, oh, I just lost it. I was saying a very convoluted fucking thing.
But I get what you're getting at, right?
But it's like the show makes me hate her.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that she's not a hateable character, which is doubly frustrating, right? Like, I would be frustrated if she was just stuck to bad lines. But they're not bad lines.
No.
But
it's
then
not,
you introduce
it's not
the
the
guy
way
that
you
replaces
hate a character in the way that like when you're watching one of your favorite dramas and you're like, oh, this fucking guy, like always causing problems, or like, we spend so much time on this character's, like storyline, it's boring, I'm tired of it. We don't have that problem with Rachel. If anything, we have the opposite problem. If anything, we have the problem of like, I still don't understand this character's whole deal. I can't be sick of it because I still like I don't feel like I grasp her function. And I know I keep drawing it back to the same thing, but like the Britta thing, the reason that they start doing that with Britta on Community was like it was very, you know, clear. Dan Harmon has said like the women in the writers' room didn't like Britta. They didn't enjoy her character. They didn't find her relatable or anything like that. So he did what he called like the Charlie Brown principle. If we start shitting on her, you feel bad for her. And then you relate to her and you can imprint on, you know, like all these things. And it feels like a misappropriation of the same principle for Rachel because Rachel still doesn't have enough definition for me to like latch on to her.
Yeah.
She still doesn't have it, you know?
Yeah.
I know we're kind of just keep saying the same thing, but it
See, but like
but it's still true.
100%. Yeah.
It hasn't changed since we started talking.
We're not
about
repeating the same thing. We're just finding ways to better describe what we were intending the first time we said it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And yep. Let's keep going, fine. The other thing is I don't really have this problem with any other characters.
I think they've
There's not
figured
another
out
character
Dana.
that I see and I'm like they figure it out for most other people pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. They figured out with Dana, and Dana is by far like the character who has the least amount of comedic moments, right? She is not as fundamentally funny as any other significant character on this show. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have a quote-unquote straight man, even though this is a queer woman. You know, it's not necessarily bad to have a grounding character, which in another show that would be Poppy, but Poppy is a broad enough character, a character who will get up on stage and fart, you know, like Poppy is not our rooting character. So she doesn't fill that function. It's fine for Dana to fill that function. I actually think that's not a bad use of that character.
It's not a bad compromise in any way.
No, and I hope, you know, they can continue to improve on this the character of Dana, to continue to like explore more and enhance her and keep her interesting. Because again, if she's on a sitcom and she's not funny, we do got to do something. We do gotta do something. But they found story engines for her that they haven't found with Rachel.
Right.
It's this potential energy, you know?
And God, I do have a problem with this. Ashley Birch is such a good fucking writer too.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine that she shows up on set, sees what's written for her character and goes, ew, and does it. Which makes me think that there's a reason behind it.
Ashley Birch is, I think, a writer on the
show.
A
writer on the show.
She wrote an episode previous to this. She wrote Everlight. That's the episode she wrote. And so I feel like, you know, if that is so, maybe this is what they want to do. Maybe this is what she wants to do with this character. Maybe. And unlike Aloy or Tiny Tina.
Oh, Tiny Tina's annoying though.
I guess Aloy is pretty grounded, and Tiny Tina is annoying, but in a comedic way on purpose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's.
So is she mixing the two?
Because that's Borderlands' brand of humor is annoying. As much as I do like Borderlands 2, which heavily features Tiny Tina.
I'm playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands right now,
I've heard it's good.
It's pee pee poo poo humor.
Uh-huh.
But it works because it's all Ashley Birch, and I think it's mostly her writing.
Yeah, she was one of
great.
the lead writers on that game as well. She's all fucking over it. She's a good writer. She's a good performer. So I guess maybe this is just what they want to do with Rachel. I don't know. I really don't.
Maybe the crime isn't then in the representation, but oops, I said that backwards. Maybe the crime isn't in the character itself, but their lack of showing that it's on purpose. Because it doesn't.
Yes.
It's like if she was annoying on purpose, and that was a part of her character. Again, I think I would get it. I would go, oh, she's the annoying one. But like
Yeah.
she's wicked, not that annoying. Everyone's just like,
No.
ugh.
Everything she
It's
says is justified, right? And like
yeah.
even
She's
in
not
this
an annoying
episode,
person. It's just-
yeah, this episode comes close to like, okay, what you could do with the social justice warrior character on this show, where she like takes the mobile game and she overblows it to be about the factory farming and industry.
Mhm.
You know, that's something you could do with a character like this.
Yeah.
And okay, that's a direction you could go, but then they don't really go in that direction.
Right.
It's just kind of like, here's a little thing that happened, and it and the I talked about it a little bit in our season 1 episodes. The testers have always felt like they're on a different show.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, right? Because they were so separate. The sense of humor of their plot line felt different from the sense of humor of the other plot lines. They're not as broad of characters as everyone else, because like God, CW and Sue and these are they're most of these characters. David, Jesus Christ, David is playing for the fucking rafters most of the time. David is playing for the cheap seats at the theater, right? So they always felt separate. Integrating Dana plot-wise makes a lot of sense, even if you don't integrate her comedy in the same way. And they just need to find a way to make Rachel feel like a part of the show Mythic Quest. They get close a couple times later this season, but she's usually just driving main characters around.
Oof.
That's what they find is what if she drives Ian? What if she drives CW? It's not all the way there.
Yeah, it's not gratifying, but maybe they have plans. Maybe she'll make be a bigger part going forward. I mean, honestly, taking into account the things that happened at the end of this season, which of course, dear listener, we will get to.
Of course.
There are things that have to shake up going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it would make some sense for some more character development or less character development and more putting them in a position where what they say has to be taken more seriously. Again, back to workplace comedies, giving you the ability to change dynamics in a way that don't always rely on making a specific character moment. So, maybe if you take nothing from this episode of our show, understand that if you want to illustrate somebody in a way, we get it, but make it clear that you're doing it for that reason or a reason. Because right now we're just like, eh.
Yes. What was the French Dispatch? When Bill Murray says, just try to make it seem like you wrote it that way on purpose.
Dude, one of the best lines. One of the best fucking lines of that movie.
Really good. Great movie. You and I both agree. Like an excellent film. And that line has stuck with me in a big way. Like, intentionality. Try to make it seem like you wrote it that way on purpose. You can shoot your movie in a weird way, but try to make it seem like you did it on purpose.
Yeah. Absolutely perfect summation of this situation, actually.
That's it. God, thank you, Wes Anderson, for giving me the language I didn't know I needed. Thank you.
Also, thank you, your brain, for being like, yo, you know what? You've been talking about this. Here's the thing you've been trying to say. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Right. And like, okay, if this is what you're trying to do with Rachel, it doesn't feel intentional. Right? Yep. It doesn't feel purposeful in that way. If that is your end game for this character, it needs to feel less like you forgot to do something with this character.
Yeah.
There we go. We did. And it only took us like 20 minutes.
It only took us a while. It's okay. It's okay.
Entire discussion of this episode. Because, like, the Poppy giving a speech line, it's whatever. It's like, okay, Poppy learns to manipulate a little bit. That's interesting. But I'm glad we finally had this longer tester discussion, because I think it's something that it always needles me about this show a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah! Anything else to say?
Huzzah! No, I don't think so. I think we this is a good place to button it up.
The episodes of Mythic Quest that don't have these super lofty aims end up being a little, not disposable is not the right word, but it's a little like they're a little light. Your gold, but you're like, oh, there's not a lot of discussion here. It kind of feels like, remember season 1 of Community when we were covering that, and there's a lot of times we were like, well, that episode was pretty funny. You got anything else?
But what happened?
But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, there were some funny jokes, but there's no, and then even season 4 of Community was a good, fruitful time of discussion on the podcast that
Yeah.
we had.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes when Mythic Quest is kind of like, just doing a regular episode, you're like, oh, that was cute. Moving on. That was kind of
Yeah.
funny. Next, and these next ones are not quite as like deep as this season will go, but they start, we start getting more for Brad and like deepening that character, which is very exciting. We start getting some more like meat to chew on in the coming weeks. I'm very excited to talk about
Yeah.
the especially the middle of this season, which is just tremendous.
Yeah. Middle of the season fucking rules.
It's gonna be good. That sounds like, no one ever said these episodes had to be 3 hours long. Sounds like we're coming to a sort of natural conclusion. Any plugs from you,
Yeah.
the daddy
Yeah.
host?
It finally happened. The longest gestated interview planning session I've ever had. I started the conversation in February. We made it happen in April. I finally had John Everest, the composer of BattleTech and Shadowrun Hong Kong and Shadowrun Returns and Disintegration and other things. Was finally on the show on Friday. It was great. That episode will be up if you're listening to this on Friday. That episode will have been up this week. Go listen to it. Nerdy_bits will have it. Nerdybits.com, or just look up Bounty Board on any podcast service. You will find it.
Bounty board.
What?
I said bounty board, but I said it in the way like the guy in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood says bounty law.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of when I see bounty board. I'm like,
Yeah.
bounty law.
Hey, that's actually all right. I don't
That's
hate
not
that.
bad. I love that
It's a-
movie. I know you
I
were
need
not a fan, but I love that movie. So
I need to rewatch it.
it's
Because
really
I've
it's
said
chill.
it. I've said to enough people that I hated it who looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
That now it's time to rewatch it. And maybe I just wasn't in the right place when I watched it.
Honestly, I never say this. That movie should have been longer. It needs to be like even more hangouty. It needs to be like
Okay.
even more just kind of like slice of life. Up until
Okay.
the end, which is of course very climactic. But that's a movie that's like that's vibes. You just chill. You just hang out with your friends, Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth. You're just hanging out, man. You're just watching Sharon Tate go around. You're just hanging out. You're just having a good time. It's good vibes.
All right. I'll rewatch it.
You're watching a guy beat up Bruce Lee. Which no one lost their minds about. Everyone was very chill about that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's it for me. That happened. It was dope. And I got some more interviews coming up, but I'll tell you more about those when I have them more concrete.
Yes.
But you.
Great. So I got, I'm still working on my long gestating film and video projects. They take a long time from conception to final execution. So we're still waiting on those. But, unfortunately, I have a new podcast.
Oh no, you said unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Crazy X Pod Friends, where my pal, frequent guest of this particular show, Cat Scott, and I are doing a new monthly pod where we're going to do Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, 2 episodes at a time. That's another great piece of television, and I'm very excited to talk about it on a monthly basis with my friend. You can get episodes of that 1 week early on my Patreon, patreon.com/tvskevin. So that is launching. That will have launched by the time this episode comes out. The first episode of that is dropping on April 15th. And you can find that where you're listening to this. Wherever you're hearing this, you can find that. Crazy X Pod Friends. We are not ex-friends.
Okay.
We just used to have a podcast. We still do, but we used to too. That's
That's the tagline.
we
We still do, but we used to too.
Great. So that's it for me. That's where you can find if you simply don't get enough of me on a weekly basis. If you didn't enjoy the bonus 420 podcast on this speed, if you didn't enjoy the bonus Sonic 2 incoming podcast on this very podcast feed, don't worry. There's even more ways to listen to me jibber jabber. There's even if you're not fucking sick of me. There's even more places to listen to that. We will be back next week as Mythic Quest dives deeper into the psychology of Brad Bakshi And this gets interesting. I like some of the directions they go with this. Because this season fucking humanizes Brad, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't think this show would go in that direction, but it do. And we get some more good stuff from David coming up in this next one as well.
Yeah.
Exciting times. And if you're going with this through this show for the first time with us, don't worry. CW will be on the show again, not on a laptop. I just want to like assure everyone that like you will see him in the flesh later this season. Don't worry about it. And until next week, I hope you enjoy your dinner party.
What a great DP action.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.
That was quite a show, very entertaining.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Boopy doopy doop boop sex.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
Dinner party.